people are surprised, and I spend time with senior leaders, middle managers, and others. People are surprised that, in fact, frontline people are very eager to innovate, and in fact, they always do. They are dealing with their customers, non-customers, their complaints, their pain points, with their wishes, their dreams. So this is something that they see every day. So their feeling is that their ideas are not wanted. They're afraid. They're afraid to go to their boss and present an idea. So I think that I'm really mean it, is that the first thing that senior leaders need to do, and then of course middle managers, is first to give people the permission, sincerely give them the permission to innovate. I can tell you a little story from that I learned from a long time ago. It's 20 years ago, from a manager at Recruit in Japan, Iwashita-san. It was very interesting because he noticed that when his staff were working in the execution engine, they understood that the boss could understand if they were doing their job correctly or not. Because of course, execution jobs are structured. Very often you have a procedure to do the job, you have KPIs, there's wait for the boss to monitor. So what he understood is that when people when he was asking for ideas, when people were volunteering ideas, they understood that it was not possible for the boss to know, right? I mean, it's not something visible. I can't come to you, Nick, and say, oh, Nick, I think you have an idea and you're hiding it from me. This is not observable. So this Iwashita manager, he understood that when people came to him and said, boss, I have a new idea, he immediately had the intuition that they were taking a risk. They were taking a risk because they knew that the boss would never know if they had an idea. And they, so they were taking a risk. They didn't want to sound silly or to be scolded by the boss or whatever. So he started something very simple, which completely changed the culture of the team. Every time somebody came to see him with a new idea or started to try to say something in a meeting, he would immediately say, thank you. Thank you for bringing the idea to me. So in a subtle way, and just by small things, all the things I'm talking about very often are small things that middle managers can do. With this small thank you, he was giving them permission to innovate. And when I interviewed him, and actually I met him in December, I met him in Tokyo. What he told me is that as soon as he started to do this is 15 years ago, he started to get people come to him with lots of ideas, and sometimes not great ideas, to tell you the truth. He was kind of a bit overwhelmed by people coming to see him with ideas. So what he did something very interesting again. He started to, every time somebody came to see him, he started to ask them 2 questions in a very systematic way, and always in the same order. And again, I'm sharing this with you because he completely changed the culture, and he trained his staff in thinking the right way. Boss, I have a new idea. Oh, thank you for bringing the idea to me. Now, can you please help me? Why would the customer like this idea? And of course, sometimes people had thought about it, and they will tell him, the customer, if they didn't, he wouldn't start to kind of, yell at them. He would say, oh, why don't you go and just ask a customer? And then when they came back and explained to him why the customer would like their new idea, he would say, but then why should we implement it? What's the value to us? What's the value to Recruit? I mean, he was head of car sensor, division of Recruit. But you see, this is very interesting to me, because just with a thank you and asking people what's the value to the customer, he's already nudging them, he's already training them to switch from a supply side view of the world to actually ask about the customer. And innovation is about the customer. Why would the customer, how is this idea creating value to customer? And then what's the benefit to us? So for me, that's the role that middle managers can play, is create an atmosphere where people have a sense of trust and fair process, where they have ideas, they have plenty of ideas, and make them feel that, yes, I want to hear your ideas. And actually, I'm going to give you little tricks, little tools to help you search your ideas and even test your own ideas. And then when you come to me with ideas, it's going to be thank you. I'm going to recognize you. I'm going to even reward you. Now, very important in your question, I would not incentivize the frontline people on innovation. That's the best way to kill innovation. The incentives should be like, the example I gave on purpose on Allianz UK is to put the incentive of innovation on the middle managers. And the middle managers, I mean, of course, it's a bonus. It's not a punition, right? I mean, if your team is more innovative, then you get the incentive. But never incentivize the front line, because this will scare them. This will be total anxiety and stress, and you kill innovation.